Hi, it's Robert Mitchell here at the closing night of Toronto After Dark 2009. It's a sad night, but also a great night because we just screened Paul's film Grace, and I just wanted to welcome you to Toronto.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And one thing I wanted to ask is, where did you come up with the inspiration of this film? It's a very unique idea.
Well, on a personal level, when I was 19, my mom told me I had a twin that didn't make it. So the subject matter became compelling to me on a very basic cellular level. From a creative standpoint, it just came from a conversation about the actual medical science behind the film, which is if you're pregnant and you lose your child and labor isn't induced, you can actually carry a baby to term. And this is a decision that women make more frequently than we talk about around the dinner table. And that, to me, is just a very, very compelling little kernel of horror.
Well, I've actually read that 1 in 3 women lose their first baby, and it's never talked about.
That's right.
I noticed that there's, in the past couple of years, going to a lot of festivals, a lot more women embracing the genre. And this film, I think, speaks directly to some women's fears, maybe, and some of the themes that are underlying the film. Could you give me your take on how more women why more women are embracing the genre?
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing that I really never understood, I mean, I love horror. I grew up living and breathing this stuff, and I still do. But one convention I never understood and still don't is this idea of alienating half your audience, or at least neglecting them. It just seems stupid, even from a purely non-political, just a storytelling standpoint, it just seems dumb. I'm not interested in that. Like the horror that I'm interested in doing is horror for the masses. It's horror that gets under everyone's skin. This isn't a women's horror film. It's a horror film for everyone. It's a horror film that gets a man as much as it gets his sister or his mother or his girlfriend or anyone else, and I think having been embraced the way we have been by the feminist critics, that have backed the film and by women and in general it's really I mean, we really needed to do that, it's very important to me to get this right and to sort of constantly solicit the input of women. I mean, I'm not a mom, I'm not a woman. I'm never gonna get a lot of this stuff, at a sort of basic level. But you need to do your diligence, and you need to sort of stay vigilant about soliciting the input of women.
Well, I think that speaks volumes to you as a writer. I mean, to write as a man writing from the perspective of women, that's a difficult task to sit down and do that. Reading about you recently, I saw that Eli Roth is one of your mentors. Could I ask how you met Eli?
I met Eli when I was 11 years old. He was my camp counselor, and I was the only camper running around with a Fangoria magazine, and so we hit it off.
That's amazing, because I saw him on the Trauma DVD talking about how he learned how to be a director, and he said it was from camp counseling. He really learned how to have to talk to people, and that situation didn't work out, and he would explain it this way. That's amazing.
Oh, he was an excellent counselor. Him and both his brothers, they actually directed the campers in movies. We have some great movies. We have one called Sushi that was like a camper slasher film where we do things like feed the counselors poison ivy and stuff like that. Good fun.
With Eli, once you got set to direct this film and it became a Go project, did you phone him up and ask him for any advice? And if so, what kind of advice did he give you?
Well, I mean, I always bounce ideas off Eli. I mean, once we were Go, it was just sort of like go get him.
And speaking of working with some of the newer names in the horror genre, I also see Adam Green, the director of Hatchet, produced this film. And could you speak about how you met Adam and that came together?
Yeah, Adam produced the film, and he's a fantastic producer. He really was a guardian angel to me on this thing. I met Adam because he was doing the Hatchet circuit while I was doing the circuit with the Grace short. And, when you have a short, you don't have a publicist, it's just you and a dead baby and a baby Bjorn covered in blood. So I was sort of running around trying to drum up as much attention as I could for the short. And he kept seeing me, at all the same places, same conventions, same festivals. And, finally, somebody convinced him to watch the short, and he really liked it. And he solicited the feature script that the short was based on. And he really liked it, and he called me in. We hit it off, and the rest is history.
So you shot this film in Canada, I just found out.
Yes, we did. We shot it in Regina, Saskatchewan.
How was it working with a Canadian crew?
It was great. I mean, I had never worked up here. I didn't know what to expect, and people were just fired up, and they really took ownership over the project, and and gave us their all. This was a very, very fast shoot. You know, we shot this in 17 days, so to pull that off, we needed a really, really dynamite ninja crew, and we got one.
Last question I want to ask you, and then we can go to the after party. What do you think of the Toronto After Dark Film Festival and the audience?
Oh, this was awesome. I've been looking forward to this for a really long time. It's a huge honor to be here. You know, I might as well be Canadian at this point. You know, like I shot the film here, we colored the film here. You know, and this is a festival I've been following as a fan for a long time, for the last, it's 3 years. And every year it's sort of exponentially growing, and it's getting more and more credibility, and it's doing that because the slate is fantastic, the programming is excellent, it's done by us for us, and that's the way a genre festival needs to be. So I love it here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It was an honor to meet you, and best of luck with your future endeavors.